Good morning, everyone. Conflict and Negotiation Network welcomes you to our negotiation series where we give you the tips, techniques, and tactics required to be a successful negotiator. In this episode, we look at negotiating without explicit power, whether organizational, physical, economic, or resource based power, that is, everyone is equal. We are going to focus on 5 key stages: personality, the skill of successful negotiators; preparation, what needs to be done before the negotiation starts; diagnosis and strategy, how to determine the best negotiation approach; implementation, how to tailor your approach to the parties involved; and finally, relationships, how to build solidarity and momentum for your point of view. Negotiation without power is a very subtle art. Success is achieved by laying the right foundations and getting there step by step. It can be slow and steady progress. We are going to illustrate this with the film 12 Angry Men. This 1957 film tells the story of a jury determining the verdict in a murder trial. Initially, the jury votes 11-1 in favor of a guilty verdict. However, through successful negotiation, Davis, the only not guilty voter and someone with no power over the other parties, ultimately convinces the jury to reach a 12-0 not guilty verdict. This is an unusual negotiation, but it expertly demonstrates the subtle art of good negotiating. Now I would like to invite my colleague Vijay to talk about effective negotiators and the preparation required.
Good morning, Hong Kong. Thank you, Jasneet. Let us talk about the qualities of effective negotiators. The attitude you bring into each and every negotiation is just as important as the techniques, tactics, and tools you utilize throughout the negotiation process. To begin with, let's discuss the key factors that make an effective negotiator. Firstly, patience. Negotiation is a subtle art, and you can't expect things to be immediately agreed. It is a step by step process requiring patience to explore the issues and wait for the right moment. Secondly, flexibility. Effective negotiators must adapt to the environment and the people involved. You need to be able to change your approach depending on what is happening. Davis from 12 Angry Men has both of these characteristics, as we will see later on. Thirdly, resilience under pressure. When the jury votes 11-1 in favor of guilty, Davis could easily fold under the pressure, especially when everyone is convinced he is wrong and wasting their time. However, he maintains his belief. Let's look at a clip from the movie showing this.
Now, perhaps if the gentleman down there who's disagreeing with us, well, perhaps you could tell us why. Let us know what you're thinking, and we might be able to show you where you're mixed up.
Fourthly, effective negotiators should be indifferent to outcomes. Emotional involvement can lead to make mistakes and wrong decisions, such as paying more than you can afford for the house you've been attached to. Finally, emotionally proactive. Davis uses emotions to his advantage, trying to get the jurors emotionally involved in the process. Let's look at another clip from the movie.
I'm not trying to change your mind. It's just that we're talking about somebody's life here. We can't decide it in 5 minutes, supposing we're wrong.
Supposing we're wrong. Supposing this whole building should fall down on my head. You can suppose anything.
That's right.
As you can see, he is very polite and doesn't get anyone offside by telling them they are wrong. Instead, he talks about the severity of the situation and to imagine the consequences if we are wrong. This is extremely effective negotiating. Now that we have understood the qualities of an effective negotiator, let's discuss more about the setup. The setup of the negotiation in terms of environment and the ground rules can be an influential factor. The location and physical environment can provide you with psychological advantage through strategic use of these factors. 12 Angry Men demonstrate the influence of these factors like temperature, they're in a very hot room without a fan, and time. They start meeting at 5:30 p.m. has on the attitude and impatience of the jurors during their negotiation. However, we're not going to go into further detail analyzing these factors as they are not core to effective negotiation. Setting clear ground rules about how the negotiation will work and the role of each party is crucial in ensuring its success, especially in a situation where nobody has power. It ensures everyone knows what is expected out of them and how they should interact.
If I can have your attention, you fellas can handle this thing any way that you want to. I'm not going to make any rules. We can, well, discuss it first and then vote on it. That's, of course, that's one way. And, well, we can vote on it right now. Then
I think it's customary to take a preliminary vote.
Yeah, let's vote. Who knows, maybe we can all get out of here, huh?
Uh-huh. Okay, then I think that, of course, you know that we have a first-degree murder charge here, and if we vote the accused guilty, we've got to send him to the chair. That's mandatory.
I think we know that.
Yeah, let's see who's where. Okay, anyone doesn't want to vote?
Guy with me.
Okay, then just remember that this has to be 12-0 either way. That's the law. Okay, are we ready?
This structure gives everyone a clear role with the responsibility to participate. This provides the foundation for Davis to diagnose the situation, develop a strategy, and successfully implement the strategy. Moving on to the next part, that is diagnosis and strategy. Here we are going to focus on devising an appropriate strategy to reach your negotiation goals. Wherever possible, you should have a strategy in place before starting any negotiation. However, you must be flexible and be able to adapt as you go. As we mentioned earlier, in negotiation it's important to set the right tone and devise the right strategy for the situation. The right strategy depends on the situation. For example, what are the issues and their importance, the urgency of the situation, the relationships between participants are, and whether they must be maintained in the long term. Avoidances is only useful when the issue is trivial, when you want to postpone the negotiation, or when you have no chance of satisfying your interests. Accommodating can be useful to build goodwill for the future, especially if you are